from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. A joint meeting between the Council of Ministers and State Council Office stresses the importance of concerted efforts aimed at upholding the best interest of the country. The Sultanate and Belgium signed a memorandum of understanding in the field of green energy to enhance the cooperation related to the strategic project High Port Duqm. And the Ministry of Health reports 2 deaths, 88 new COVID-19 cases and 1,359 recoveries during the last 3 days. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Highness Sayyid Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, and a number of their Highnesses and Excellencies, the members of the Council, received today the Honourable Members of the State Council Office, headed by His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Khalili, Chairman of the State Council, within the framework of cooperation and joint coordination between the Council of Ministers and the Council of Oman. During the meeting, the government emphasized the importance of concerted efforts aimed at upholding the higher interest of the country in order to preserve the achievements made and to enhance the comprehensive development process that permeates all parts of the country. In view of the rich experiences of the State Council, the government hopes that the Council will strengthen its studies aimed at upgrading programs in the service of the public interest and be keen on cooperating with the Council of Ministers to support plans aimed at a steady progress. The joint meeting reviewed the agenda, which included many topics, as well as ways to strengthen the partnership between the government and the State Council and to continue to strengthen cooperation and coordination between the state institutions in support of the national work process. It was also agreed during the meeting that the State Council will continue its targeted community awareness in order to serve this dear country under the wise leadership of His Majesty the Sultan. His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, the Foreign Minister, and Her Excellency Tien van der Straeten, Belgian Minister of Energy, discussed the bilateral relations between the Sultanate and Belgium and ways of enhancing them. During the meeting, the areas of cooperation between the two countries have been reviewed, especially those in relation to green energy. Agreements supporting the friendly relation between the two countries were also completed. The two parties affirmed on their mutual interest towards advancing the bilateral relations, which will contribute to enhancing common interests of the two friendly countries. Based on the distinguished relations between the Sultanate and the Kingdom of Belgium and the desire of the two countries to enhance and develop cooperation between them in the field of green energy, a memorandum of understanding was signed between the two sides in the field of green energy. The Memorandum of Understanding states on strengthening cooperation related to the strategic project High Port in Duqm and supporting the cooperation efforts made by companies in the Sultanate of Oman and the Kingdom of Belgium to build an international alliance to produce and import green hydrogen for the Kingdom of Belgium and its neighboring countries. The MOU provides for the implementation of green certification standards for the electricity grid, as well as interaction between universities, scientific research institutions and the private sector in both countries, with the aim of training, educating and exchanging students, promoting research and development, as well as other forms of cooperation and technical training related to the Omani-Belgian green hydrogen company's value chain. The Ministry of Health reported 2 deaths, 88 new COVID-19 cases and 1,359 recoveries during the last 3 days. The ministry also reported that the total number of COVID-19 cases registered in the Sultanate reached 303,639, while the total number of deaths reached 4,095. The total recovered cases reached 296,527. The ministry indicated that the total number of inpatients reached 41, out of which 24 are in intensive care units. The General Directorate of Health Services in North Sharqiya has started today giving the second dose of the vaccine to school students of the age 12 and above in the specified vaccination centers of the governorate's wilayats. The students got the first dose of the vaccine in August 8th. The total number of target students between the age 12 to 17 have reached 24,385 in 86 schools across the governorate. Dr. Mohammed bin Zahar Al-Abri from Sultan Qaboos University was awarded the first prize in the Arab Water Council Prize for Creativity and Innovation in its first edition for his research membrane of enhanced nanofiber for water treatment in a safe way. That came during the conclusion ceremony of the 5th Arab Forum for Water, which was held in the city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. It is worth mentioning that the award is granted by Arab Water Council in order to encourage researchers and specialists for innovation and creativity in water sector. The Military Technological College received the 9th batch of students holders of General Diploma for the academic year 2021-2022. After completing the registration procedures in the college amid COVID-19 precautionary measures, the students will get acquainted with the military guidelines as well as the facilities and academic aspects related to the college within the introductory week. Along with 170 countries, the Sultanate, represented by a team from the schools of the Directorate General of Education in the Governorate of North Sharqiya, participated in the first Global Challenge 2021. This year's competition came under the theme Discover and Recover. The Omani team will participate in various projects, namely space technology and robots programming. The students designed a prototype satellite called CubeSat that will measure and collect data related to climate and atmosphere. Participating in such competitions will enhance the students' skills in advanced technologies and opens new horizons for innovation. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The novel coronavirus has killed at least 4.74 million people since the outbreak emerged in China in December 2019. At least 231.5 million cases of coronavirus have been registered. Yesterday, 6,171 new deaths and 378,753 new cases were recorded worldwide. The United States is the worst affected country with 687,751 deaths from almost 43 million cases. After the US, the hardest hit countries are Brazil with 594,200 deaths, India 446,918, Mexico 275,303 deaths, and Russia with 203,900 deaths. Europe recorded more than 1.3 million deaths, Asia 833,402, Africa 208,493, and the Middle East 196,861. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier voted in Berlin today in a parliamentary election that will determine who succeeds Chancellor Angela Merkel after her 16 years at the helm of Europe's biggest economy. Steinmeier, after voting with his wife, said those who vote love democracy. Those who help organize elections are doing a service to the community. Polls point to a very close race between Merkel's center-right Union bloc, with State Governor Armin Laschet running for chancellor, and the center-left Social Democrats, for whom outgoing Finance Minister and Vice Chancellor Olaf Scholz is seeking the top job. A volcano in Spain's Canary Islands continued spewing lava, prolactic material and ash 1 week after its eruption. Scientists warned yesterday that another volcanic vent had opened up, exposing residents to possible new dangers. A video shot by the Spanish Geological and Mining Institute showed a flow of more lava sliding down the mountainside. The eruption on 19th September prompted the evacuation of several villages on La Palma Island, and almost 7,000 people have been forced to abandon their homes. The local government has urged residents in affected areas to avoid going outside and to only do so wearing masks and goggles. Volcanic ash can cause damage to people's airways, lungs, and eyes. The recent volcanic eruption is the first on La Palma since 1971. The island has a population of 85,000. At least 3 people were killed yesterday when an Amtrak train that runs between Seattle and Chicago derailed in north-central Montana, toppling several cars into their sides. The westbound Empire Builder train derailed near Joplin, a town of about 200. The accident scene is almost 241 kilometers northeast of Helena and about 48 kilometers from the border with Canada. The train had about 141 passengers and 16 crew members on board. The train had 2 locomotives and 10 cars, 8 of which derailed. Residents of communities near the crash site quickly mobilized to help the passengers. They helped about 50 to 60 passengers who were brought to a local school. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. A joint meeting between the Council of Ministers and State Council Office stresses the importance of concerted efforts aimed at upholding the best interest of the country. The Sultanate and Belgium signed a memorandum of understanding in the field of green energy to enhance the cooperation related to the strategic project Highport Duqm. And the Ministry of Health reports 2 deaths, 88 new COVID-19 cases and 1,359 recoveries during the last 3 days. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night and stay safe.